Good morning. I just want to say I hope you have a wonderful day today. We're going to be talking about angles formed by parallel lines and transversals. So we're going to go over the postulates, which we actually have somewhat proved these things when we measured all our angles the other day using our patty paper. So remember, postulate we accept a statement accepted as truth, but a theorem we have to have proven. So we have somewhat proven these. So we will go ahead and use them. So just to reflect on these from the other day. Corresponding angle postulate. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some arrows on my line to show that they're parallel, and then I'm just going to put some numbers in for our angles to show corresponding angles. So the measure of angle 1 is congruent to the measure of angle 5, and so we're just going to kind of go with what we did yesterday. Are they congruent or are they supplementary? So these are corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, our next one that we're going to look at is alternate exterior angle theorem. Two lines are cut by two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pairs of alternate exterior angles are congruent. So we're just going to do 1 and 7. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. Now that's not the only one. I'm just putting specific angles up there. Okay, moving to the next one, our alternate interior angle theorem. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pairs of alternate interior angles are congruent. So now we've got alternate interior angles. So we have 4 and 6. And so alternate interior angles are going to be congruent if we have parallel lines cut by a transversal. Okay, going to the next one, we have same side exterior angles, and these two are going to be supplementary. So if we have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, then the pairs of same side exterior angles are supplementary. So same side, so that would be like angle 1 and angle 8. Add those two up. Measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 8 equals 180 degrees. Might even want to write that one down. Measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 8 is equal to 180 degrees. That's with our definition of supplements. Okay, and then going to our last one, same side interior angle theorem. If two parallel lines are cut by transversal, then the pairs of same side interior angles are supplementary. So we could have 3 and 6. So the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 6 is equal to 180 degrees. And these are our supplements. Also, sometimes these are called consecutive angles. So these would be consecutive interior angles, and sometimes you see it both ways in the writing. Okay, so let's do some practice. So our first thing says determine whether each pair of angles is congruent according to the corresponding angle postulate. So this is really just saying, is number 1, angle 1 and angle 2, are they corresponding? And we would have to answer no, they're not corresponding, because they're not in the same position on a different parallel line. They're definitely not on the same side of the transversal. Okay, number 2, are these corresponding angles? And angle 3 and angle 4 definitely are corresponding. Okay, find each angle measure. So looking at these, I'm going to look and say, okay, what is the relationship between angle 1 and the 67-degree angle? They're corresponding. Corresponding angles are congruent, so the measure of angle 1 is 67 degrees. Okay, what is the measure of angle H, J, K? And what you might want to do is just get you a highlighter and highlight H to J to K. So this is the angle that we're speaking about. So HJK, if I'm looking at this, I'm looking at X degrees and 142 degrees, and they are corresponding. So the measure of angle HJK is just 142 degrees. Okay, now down here we're going to have a little bit of calculation. So I'm looking at these two angles. So I'm looking at this angle and this angle. And when I look at those, I'm like, hey, you're corresponding. I've got my arrows on these lines telling me that they're parallel, cut by transversal. Corresponding angles are congruent. So if the angles are congruent, then the measures are equal. So we have 3x plus 23 is equal to 4x. So I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. So 23 is equal to x. Now, this didn't say what is x. It says what is the measure of angle ABC. So that is equal to 4x. And we're just going to substitute our value for x in there. And we get 892. So we have 92 degrees. Okay, moving to the next one. I'm looking at these two. And so it's asking about this angle and this angle, and we can definitely see that those are corresponding. They are on the same position of a different parallel line on the same side of a transversal. So if angles are congruent, measures are equal. 5x equals 3x plus 50. So we're just going to set those measures equal to each other. Solve. So I'm going to subtract 3x, and I get 2x is equal to 50. Divide by 2, and x is 25. Okay, do not ask me to solve for x. It asked me to solve for this angle. So the measure of angle MPQ is 3x plus 50. I'm going to substitute in my value for x. So I have 75 plus 50, which is 125. And remember, that is degrees. We measure these angles in degrees. Okay, so the next few problems that we're going to do deal with angles formed by the parallel lines in the transversals. But we're going to look at alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, and same side. Okay, so I'm looking at these, and I see those pieces right there. So what is the measure of each angle? The measure of angle 3. Since these are alternate interior angles, and alternate interior angles are congruent, this is 111 degrees. Remember, yesterday we made a sheet that said which ones are supplements, which ones are congruent. That may be helpful to have out today. Okay, number 8. We're looking at same side interior, so we know the measure of angle 4 plus 90 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Subtract our 90, so the measure of angle 4 is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, going to 9, we have this angle and this angle. We can easily see that they are alternating sides of the transversal. Pay attention to our arrows showing that they are parallel lines. And so we have parallel lines cut by the transversal, alternate exterior, and alternate exterior angles are congruent. So the measure of angle RST is 138 degrees. Okay, moving to number 10, we look at these and we have this angle and this angle. So we're looking at alternate opposite sides of the transversal. They're inside the parallel lines. I know they're parallel lines because these markings tell me, these arrows tell me that they are parallel. That's my symbol for parallel. And so I know my angles are congruent, therefore my measures are equal. So I have A plus 28 is equal to 2A. I'm going to subtract A from both sides, so I get 28 is equal to A. And it didn't ask me to solve for A, it asked me to solve for the angle measure. So we're going to substitute that back in. So if I'm going to follow my points, M, N, P, and that equals A plus 28, I'm going to substitute my value for A, which is 28, and add those up, and we get 56 degrees. Okay, number 11. These are alternate interior angles are congruent. So we have 5y equals 2y plus 78. We'll subtract 2y from both sides. So 3y is equal to 78. Divide by 3. And I get 26. And then we're going to go back in, substitute it into WXZ, which is 5y. So that's 5 times 26. And I get 130 degrees. Okay, last one. Number 12, I noticed that those are inside. They're consecutive, or they are same side interior, and same side interior are supplementary. So we have 3n minus 47 plus n plus 7 is equal to 180. Took the degrees off because now I'm solving an equation. Combine like terms. We have 4n minus 40 is equal to 180. Add 40 to both sides. So 4n equals 220. Divide by n. And we get 55 for n. And we need to go find the measure of angle ABC, which is 3n minus 47. Substituting our n value, 3 times 55 minus 47. And do that math. And I get 118 degrees. Okay, so you're going to go and apply these new postulates to solving some problems. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take care.